Alright guys, so we're back at it. We've allowed this stain to dry for quite a while. Seems to be dry enough for us now to apply hard wax to it. David, this will be the first time you're using hard wax oil.
Yes, and I'm looking at the consistency. Golden syrup.
Yeah, it's very thick stuff. So I was going to show David how we apply it. And you'll just give me a hand and just follow my steps.
Cool.
So what we'll just dip in our rag into the hard wax. You go ahead.
It looks edible.
You smell it.
Yeah.
And then all we're going to do, we're just going to wipe it on. So just wipe on. You don't need a lot of pressure. It's that easy. Anything you got to look out for is just make sure it has saturated into the wood. So if you see any dry spots, dry areas, just go over it. You're going to get some transfer of the stain coming off on it because we are rubbing it in onto the stain. So that's normal. Put that there.
And a very pleasant fragrance.
Yeah. So one of the essential oils that I use is rosemary extract.
Okay.
Which is a natural antioxidant which helps to preserve the finish. So instead of using a toxic chemical, you use something natural.
So definitely not using a well-ventilated area. Using a closed area because the fragrance is so bloody good.
That's got very low VOCs. So you know you don't have strong chemical smells.
Oh wow, this is impressive.
You're finding it easy to apply?
Definitely. I'm liking the finish immediately. Drying time as opposed to conventional products, Billy?
Pretty much the same. So we're going to leave this to soak in for about 15 minutes. And then we're just going to lightly remove any excess. So after about 15 minutes, you might see some shiny areas, and that's what you want to remove.
Okay.
Excess that's on there. And then we'll leave that for 4 hours. And then you apply your second coat, which I'll be leaving you to do that by yourself.
Okay. And the second coat must happen within the 4-hour period?
No. It can happen, so minimum 4 hours wait.
Okay.
You can wait the next day. You can wait a few days later. I wouldn't wait too long though.
Okay. So it's quite cool at the moment. I think it's more the wind that's going to assist us with drying.
Yeah, well, I find this is doesn't take too long. Some oils can actually take 8 hours or 24 hours to dry, but this seems to dry quite a bit quicker. And we could take a paintbrush as well. I think with a paintbrush, you end up using too much.
Okay.
And then you've got a lot more to remove.
So the recommendation is the cloth?
The recommendation is to use a rag, yeah.
And any rag, as you mentioned earlier?
Any rag will do. You don't need any special applicators or any special kind of rag or mutton cloth or kind of a sponge applicator.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
And because this is a very dry piece of pine, which is very soft wood, usually the first coat you'll see it draws in very, very quickly. And you might just need to touch up certain areas where you can see dry spots. we'll just go over it. Because generally we want to see shine everywhere on the wood. That way we know there's like the penetration. Now your first coat is your most important coat.
So unlike conventional products that normally says thin out first coat.
No, that's not thinning out at all. The conventional stuff is what you apply and you don't remove, because it's full of turpentine and that just soaks right into the wood. With this, you've got a very small amount of solvent.
And Billy, no need to use steel or water paper in between this coat and the second one?
No, there's no need to sand in between coats. Because it is a penetrating oil, it does bond to the previous coating, unlike your varnishes, your pure varnish finishes, which are just resins, tips, and where you need to give it a light sand just to bond the second coat to the first coat. You don't need that with this, which makes it easy application, easy to use. And we might as well do the inside as well while we're here. You're not going to stain that.
Just use that residue on the cloth.
Pretty much.
Who would have thought your ordinary palette coupled with a high quality product like this, and that's your, wow, absolutely amazing.
The nice thing is you can afford to use a product like this, which is cost effective. Doesn't mean you got to use expensive wood if you use an expensive product. Don't be afraid to put it on nice and thick on this wood. This is soft woods, just soaks in. I think the two-tone looks pretty good, eh?
Yeah, it definitely adds a good dimension to it. So we'll keep the front, the covers exactly as easier with this two-tone effect then.
Yeah, I think so.
And then we'll just have to flip it the other side to get to
the underside. I think what you can do is just we'll give this the 50 minutes, wipe off the excess, and then we can flip it over, because then the nice thing about using a hard wax is that once you remove the excess, you can handle it. There's no risk of it coming off or getting damaged. So unlike using a varnish finish, where you want to keep it away from any dust, dirt, or getting your fingers on it and damaging it to finish, you don't have that risk with using a hard wax.
And Billy, at this stage, sales are contacting you directly?
Yeah, pretty much so. I finally got my website up and running, but there's still a couple of gremlins that we need to sort out. But that would be the next pay point would be through the website. But I'll still take direct orders as well.
So removing the excess, that's obviously where the hard wax oil, there's a bit too much on a specific pocket?
Yes and no. I mean, you're applying it on thick because you want to get maximum penetration. And, wood wood is a strange thing, because certain parts of the wood could be extremely soft and other parts could be a little bit harder. So it's saturating into the wood some places deeper than it is other places, but you're applying the same amount on, especially around like knots. Knots
and your crosscut sections,
your crosscut sections where that's a bit more dense. So you'll see once after about 15 minutes, you'll see that there's going to be some light spots and some dry spots. And we just want to remove those few shiny places where it's done its job but it hasn't saturated all the way in. And the reason why we do that, because if we allow it just to stay like that and to dry, it can become tacky.
Okay.
And we don't want that.
So fairly easy, comfortable product to work with. So I'm impressed with that. And also a very pleasant fragrance, which I haven't come across in using any hood protection product ever.
Yeah, so I mean, everything else that you generally buy in a hardware store is just full of turpentine. And that's where a hard wax oil is so much different, because it's, it's not a solvent-based product. It's an oil-based product.
Okay, so let's get this out in the sun.
Yeah, let's do that.